Zach.
I'm Zubair.
And welcome to Harmony. We're continuing where we left off in the second word.
Yeah.
Which is, for those following, on page 28, the first paragraph at the top of the page. We can start from there, but just to remind the premise of the word, or this chapter, the ayat at the beginning is, in the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, those who believe in the unseen, or the Arabic, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaib. So, beginning from where we left off on page 28, after some while he returned is the sentence from which we'll start. So after some while he returned and came across the other man. He understood his condition and said to him, "You are out of your mind. The ugliness within you must have been reflected on the outer world, so that you imagined laughter to be weeping, and the discharge from duties to be sack and pillage. Come to your senses and purify your heart, so that this calamitous veil is raised from your eyes and you can see the truth. For the country of an utterly just, compassionate, beneficent, powerful, order-loving and kind king could not be as you have imagined. Nor could a country which demonstrated this number of clear signs of progress and achievement. The unhappy man later came to his senses and repented. He said, "Yes, I was crazy through drink. May God be pleased with you. You have saved me from a hellish state." Very long paragraph. I don't think we'll be able to talk about all of it now, but we can start. So after some while, he returned and came across the other man. So we have two men in this story, as we said. One of them,
godly and selfish.
Yeah, one of them was self-centered. One of them was not self-centered. As we said,
other-centered.
Other-centered, but not just other-centered. The other being the creator, not another creature. Okay, so that was important. You can have altruism, and now you have God altruism, as we've said.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, not putting himself in the center, not being egocentric. So the God-centric person came across the egocentric person and understood his condition and said, right there at the very beginning is something to talk about before you even say what he said.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
So the one who...
He understood.
Yeah, he understood.
Wow.
And the God-centric one understood the condition of the egocentric one.
So, what is it?
He saw him, and as soon as he saw him, he said, "Oh, this guy is is in some sort of spiritual depression, some sort of depressed state. Something's wrong with him," basically, is what he said.
Yeah.
He understood that, just by looking at him.
So you say, well, he is in a state that he is able to understand what's going on with him.
Exactly. And imagine this, if I'm a doctor, and I look at you, by maybe the way your face is...
the signs.
Yeah, the signs that are shown on your face. Your eyes are a little bit droopy. There's a little bit of black dots. Maybe you're coughing a little bit. I can understand, something's wrong with you. Actually, everybody can understand it, but a doctor might be able to understand better.
Yep.
Because he understands the signs and what the signs entail. So, in this one, the egocentric person is exhibiting signs of egocentrism.
Wow.
He's sick, is what we're saying here.
If I'm not a doctor, you just made an allegory that just brightens me. If I'm not a doctor and I see the signs on you, I can see, the only thing that I can see is just something is wrong with you.
Yeah, maybe
that's all.
Maybe you don't see as something wrong. Maybe you just see, that's your normal.
Yeah, maybe. But if I can clearly indicate or state that what is wrong with you, then I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
In this paragraph, he says, "You blah 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 blah. Could not be as you imagined." He says. He just experiencing the normal.
The doctor knows what the normal is what it means. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Then he just sees the other person, the self-centered person, and he says, well, that's something wrong with him because he's not normal. That normal is not that.
No.
Wow.
To open up the word normal, he knows what the reality is.
Yes.
And he understands that the egocentric person doesn't see
match the reality.
Yes, exactly. So he understands this. Okay, and so we can look at this, and through the egocentric man's actions, the way he talks, The way that he might show his anger, show competition. He has
his reactions.
His reaction. He has a very competitive attitude. He's very ambitious. Okay, ambitious is actually a negative thing. We often think of it because of our training in life, and we'll get to that later, that ambition is a good thing. It's actually a bad thing. So he sees this, and he realizes all these are basically symptoms of a sickness, a cough. Now, just like if I know somebody is sick, I don't get mad at him when he coughs.
Well, yeah.
I
know the trouble.
Yes. He tries to find a solution. He won't get mad. He'll either walk away from him, or he'll try to find a solution. But he won't get mad at the guy. This guy, the God-centric one, doesn't walk away. He says something.
Well, yeah.
That's what he has to do. He doesn't just mind his own business and walk away, knowing what's wrong. That would be very selfish and very egocentric. I know what's wrong with you.
And walk away.
And just walk away from you.
Go hell.
Yeah. It basically is what I'm saying to you.
Well, yeah.
No.
That's not my business.
Yes. So the fact that he is God-centric means he has to say something. He has to do something. Maybe that will depend on the person and what the sick person is open to, but he has to do something.
At least there's an urge in him to say something.
Yeah, maybe he'll say something through his actions. Maybe he won't say, yeah, hey, you're sick. Get your mind together. He might try to show him that he's sick. Like, maybe there's another alternative here, showing different things.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he does something.
Yeah.
He tries to do something. And that's what the second part is. He says something. And he says, you were out of your mind. You were crazy. That doesn't mean he actually goes up and says, hey, Zubey, you're crazy.
Thank you.
Okay. It could be. It could be. It very well could be. But through his actions, he's trying to make the person understand that he is actually abnormal.
Well, yeah. You're ignoring the reality.
Yes.
That's what basically he says.
Yeah, exactly. If the sick person comes and says, what's the matter? Then the doctor might say, hey, you're crazy. I mean, you did this wrong. You're doing it all wrong. But if the sick person doesn't come himself, he'll have to use different methods to make him realize that he's actually sick in the first place.
Well, yeah. So
that means is that egocentric people usually don't understand that they're sick. They think that they've gotten so much into it that this is the way that it should be.
And that's the conclusion. The first sentence is the conclusion. Yeah. And the second one, the upcoming ones, are the proof of it.
Exactly. You are out of your mind. You see, what is this, as you said? The ugliness within you, what we've all talked about, must have been reflected on the outer world so that you imagined. And I think the word imagine in the original Turkish is not just imagine like with you have an imagination. It's
comprehension or acceptance.
You have been deluded to the fact. Okay, it's a very negative word. It's not the positive imagination being used.
Yeah.
It's a very negative word.
You reshaped.
Yeah, you reshaped the reality. Okay, so translation is a little bit different here. So you have deluded yourself into seeing laughter as weeping.
Yeah.
And the discharge of duties to be sack and pillage. To see death itself not to be a release of service, but as sack and pillage. Non-existence. Agony, pain. You're crazy. That's not the reality.
You're deluding yourself.
You are deluding yourself. Come to your senses and purify your heart so that the calamitous veil is raised from your eyes and you can see the truth. He doesn't know the reality. It's actually
just the reality, nothing more.
It's just the reality. But think of the state of somebody who's in this who doesn't know the reality. They think what is going on around them. For example,
Matrix?
Not the Matrix. Think of this. We live in Turkey and we know it's very easy to just come up, pick any child up, hug and give the child a kiss, even if you don't know him. It's pretty normal.
Yeah.
You pet the child on the head, give him some candy, kiss him, do this, everything else.
Everyone does that to my daughter.
Exactly. In America, in Europe, it's impossible.
Really?
As a teacher, I worked in schools. The first thing we're told is do not touch the kids, ever. In any way, shape, or form. As a teacher. If they come and hug you, you just stand like this. With your arms behind your back. You don't touch them.
Kidding?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. That's what we were taught. People are so afraid.
1 second. Say that again.
They're afraid of perverts.
That's why.
They're afraid that something bad is...
Man, you're a teacher.
Yeah.
And you don't touch any child in the classroom.
Exactly. They'll sue you.
That's sick.
Yes, but it shows the mentality. It shows that, look at what they see reality as. They see reality, they see this world as a hellhole in which everybody is out to get them and their children.
They shouldn't.
That's not the reality in Turkey.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Well, at least right now, maybe. I mean, but that's what. When I
God
came to
forbid.
Turkey, I was shocked to see. Wait a second. Everybody. I have a child too, growing up in Turkey.
It must be really hard for you.
When my parents come, sometimes they're shocked at the way the people act towards my child. Because if they were to act like that in America, wow, it's impossible. Literally, Americans have gone crazy. So this means Europeans and Americans have gone absolutely crazy. I saw that coming from America to here.
He's a United States person,
Born and
he
raised.
lives in here.
Yeah, born and raised in America, lived in France, by the way, did education there too, and then I came to Turkey, and I lived here for 6 years.
Man,
so
I felt really sorry for you.
well,
Terribly.
that's what it was. I mean, we're growing up in a situation where people actually think that everybody is out to get them, that this world is full of evil people that are trying to kill them. Everything.
Well, there are a lot of instances of those.
There's a lot of instances reported on the media, but when you think about it, every person look at themselves and say, "Hey, wait a second. Do I want something bad to my child to happen? Do I want something bad to happen to my child?"
Nope.
No. You think the same. I think the same. Everybody in the schools, parents think the same. The teacher is a parent. He wanted. It's completely based on their perspective. They choose.
Normally, they are the minority.
Yes. Exceptions. Does it happen? It happens.
Yeah.
But it's an exception. It's not the...
Your perspective generalizes it.
Exactly. Because the media plays a big role in this. We can go into this later in another video.
Yeah, maybe.
But what this means is that people have trained themselves, chosen to look at the world this way. You don't have to watch the media. I gave up television when I was in America, and my entire view of the world changed.
Wow.
We don't have to go into the details now, but that means that people are choosing to fill their spirit with trash. That's all it means. And they've gone crazy.
And the same thing happens when you fill your stomach with trash.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing happens when you fill your stomach of your spirit with trash.
So this God-centric person sees that the egocentric person has filled his own spirit, soul, heart with trash, and I got to do something.
You're out of your mind.
Yeah. That's, I think, where we should end.
Yeah. Talk about this later on.
So thank you very much. We'll continue this. Please send your questions, comments, and anything that you have to us. We'd love to hear them.
Yeah. Bye.